Welcome to Optimized Risk Management. I am Karen Muller, and I will be sharing risk management techniques to help you with your small to medium-sized business on a continuous basis. Today's topic is about risk management governance. Over the course of this video, I will review with you the roles and responsibilities for managing risk. I will also share my views on when forming a risk committee would be appropriate and what would be discussed in such a committee. Risk management is normally strongest when there are three separate and clearly identified groupings of roles and responsibilities. This grouping is the basic premise of a 3 lines of defense model. This model is intended to segregate roles and responsibilities to avoid conflicts of interest within the risk management process. The first line of defense is the person who owns the risk and therefore assesses and manages the risk. The second line of defense is the person or group who designs the standards for managing and reporting on risk. And the third line of defense is the person or group who provides independent assurance on the status of your risk management efforts. Let's begin with the first line of defense. This is the risk owner. The risk owner is the person who identifies, assesses, monitors, and manages a risk. Risk owners ensure that risks are properly described and assessed to determine whether they are in or outside of your risk appetite. You can usually identify the owner of a risk by identifying the person responsible for the process the risk is linked to. For example, let's say you sell widgets to customers online. In order to sell that widget, you have a process to manufacture that widget. The person responsible for that process is best suited to identify what could go wrong and what types of controls should be put in place to ensure that the risk does not materialize. When the risk owner plots their risk on a risk matrix and discovers that it is outside of appetite, he or she is also the best person to come up with solutions to lower the risk level. This is because that person understands the risk best. In a perfect world, perhaps only the first line of defense would be needed to ensure that risks are managed effectively. However, enterprises recognize that in the real world, this often proves to be difficult because of biases risk owners may have when assessing their own risk. For this reason, a second line of defense is often established to help counter those biases. Depending on the size and complexity of your organization, a person or an independent risk management function is established to objectively design the standards for managing risk. They also monitor and challenge how well the first line of defense is meeting those standards. Additionally, they help document those standards in your risk management framework, which is your playbook for how risk should be managed in your organization. They also create risk reporting that objectively measures your business's risk profile. For this reason, the group or persons assigned to design your risk management standards should be independent from the person who actually manages the risk. In smaller organizations, you may be tempted to combine the first and second line of defense roles. However, this could make it very difficult for the risk owner to tell on him or herself when something goes wrong or needs improving. Therefore, you should try to avoid this if possible to ensure the integrity of your risk reports. The third line of defense is intended to help you understand where improvements may be needed to your risk management framework that was designed by the second line of defense and the execution of the framework by the first line of defense. This person or group plays an assessing and reporting role and should have the highest level of independence. For this reason, the role is typically performed by an audit function. Accordingly, this person or group should not be responsible for the decisions made when designing your risk management standards or managing your risk. This avoids a conflict of interest if they have to report less than good news. Your risk should be discussed at the highest level of your organization. This could be with the owner, CEO, or the board of directors. This is because risk management decisions should align with strategic objectives. They should also approve your risk management framework, appetite levels, and policies put in place to direct how risk should be managed. These decisions and approvals should not be taken lightly. For this reason, you may want to allocate dedicated time to discuss risk management matters to a committee. This risk committee could consider, discuss, and review the essential data before recommending the appropriate course of action to the owner, CEO, or board. The risk committee should consist of people in both the first and second lines of defense. The third line of defense may also be invited to observe, but remember, they should not make decisions. This committee should meet as frequently as needed to facilitate risk management decisions in your organization. It should discuss and review data around your organization's risk management culture. Your culture is important because it sets the tone for how employees approach risk management challenges that may arise. The committee should also review and discuss your organization's risk profile, which is the comparison of your risk exposure level to its appetite level. They should also review and agree on the risk management framework, appetite statements, and policies before recommending they be submitted for approval. This committee should also assess and challenge risk associated with strategic proposals and initiatives, and the results of stress testing and scenario analysis of risk. Careful review of these topics before decisions are taken are essential for successful risk management, regardless of whether it is done in a committee or by an individual. Nonetheless, we are all expected to call out potential and actual risk in an organization. While assessing the responsibilities for risk management is important, do not let this stifle the call to action when something has gone or could go wrong in your organization. Regardless of your role, as risk managers, we should all have a responsibility to speak out when a risk is apparent, either before it can occur or after it has occurred, and address it as required. Was this content helpful for you? Hit the like button and subscribe to let me know. I will be sharing risk management techniques to help you with your small to medium-sized business on a continuous basis. Feel free to let me know in the comment section if you have a particular risk management topic you would like us to cover. Additionally, at Optimized Risk Management, we can provide you with personalized risk management guidance if that will work better for you.